Round 11 in the Championship this weekend and some tricky games to call. Here are my predictions. Get involved down there in the comments with your predictions. Midweek did not go well at all. I'll reveal all at the end. But those of you who like to yell at me for not being able to predict the future, get your voices warmed up. Preston versus Sheffield United. North End have racked up clean sheets and draws this season. The Blades have racked up wins. League leaders United do skew better at home, but that's likely down to a tough away start and a ridiculous record at Bramall Lane. There probably won't be many Deepdale goals. Preston haven't won at home yet this season, so I think I'm on for a 6 win in 7 for Heckingbottom's men. Away! Norwich versus West Brom. Incredibly, Norwich and West Brom are tied for the most shots on target per 90 in the whole division. The irony there is not lost on anyone who's seen the league table. Norwich have turned that into 6 wins to West Brom's 1. Sargent in form. Norwich most points at home. Baggies, no away wins. This could spell big trouble for Steve Bruce going into the international break. Home! Luton versus Blackburn. If you told me these sides would be 3rd and 18th right now, I'd have probably guessed it the wrong way round. Blackburn don't draw, but have won 5 times already this season under John Dale Thomason. The Kenny is a big weapon for Luton, but they have no home wins yet. They do have an informed striker in Carlton Morris. What gives? I reckon the 0 in Blackburn's draw column. Draw! Wigan versus Reading. This is another something's got to give matchup. Wigan's decent step up to the Championship is predicated on the fact they have the best away record in the division, and Reading's surprise start is built on excellent home form. Wigan do concede chances, but they're very, very good at staying in games. They didn't let me down in midweek at Huddersfield, so I'm going to double down and call another Wigan win. Home! Burnley versus Bristol City. It's possession kings Burnley versus goal kings Bristol City. Loving Conway and super sub Semenyo for City. Wasn't loving their defending at Norwich the other night, though. More often than not, you can't outscore a bad defence. Fortunately for Bristol City, Burnley don't quite have the ruthless streak Norwich do as yet, despite being wrong earlier in the week. I'll do what I always do and make exactly the same suggestion that their goal power gets them a point. Draw! Watford versus Sunderland. This is a devious one, isn't it? 2 clubs, 2 divisions apart with the ex-Premier Leaguers at home, but Watford aren't particularly convincing at the moment. And not only did Silky Sunderland score some worldies the other night at Reading, only Wigan have more away points than the Black Cats in the division. Watford have tended to edge tight home games this season, but Sunderland do look fun under Tony Mowbray so far. Draw! If you want to keep up with all the Championship action we're predicting right now, you can do so by using the OneFootball app. Go and download it now for free using the link down in the description. Once you've got the app, get in, hit that star on the Championship. You can get real-time notifications for what's happening in any game. Some awesome stats I may be using in this video, and you can now even watch Serie A highlights on the app and one selected Saturday night Serie A match for free. That's OneFootball. Get downloading via the link in the description. QPR versus Stoke. The tough calls don't stop. Improving QPR take on a Stoke side who got their first win under Alex Neil in midweek. Look out for the division's top assister, QPR's Ilias Chair, and Stoke's midfield numbers monster, Lewis Baker. We may well be getting inspiration versus application. I'm feeling inspired and going for Chair and his old mate Willock to do it again and get a 4th win in 5 for Rangers. Home! Middlesbrough versus Rotherham. Here are 2 sides not quite living up to pre-season expectation. Rotherham are putting points on the board for fun. Middlesbrough are tripping themselves over every opportunity. For For all my admiration for Paul Warne, 85% of the Millers' points have come at home, and surely Richard Wood won't continue being the most effective attacker in world football for much longer. I fancy those Borough wingbacks Jones and Giles to work their magic and reverse the current form. Home! Birmingham versus Coventry. A couple of cracking road results for Blues. Can they round it out against Coventry for a perfect week? The Sky Blues are bottom, but this will be their 6th game of 7 played away from home. Blues top the division for clearances and fouls per 90, but there's quality too, especially from Bakuna in the 10. We did, though, see star men for Coventry, Gyökeres and Hamer both in the goals. Can't split it. Draw! Huddersfield versus Cardiff. Narcis Pelak and Paul Harsley will be in temporary charge of Huddersfield after Danny Schofield's short run as boss ended in midweek. Cardiff had a tremendous win at Borough during midweek as well. If they can bottle that first half, all their problems disappear immediately. This feels down to how Huddersfield play the adversity. Will they bounce back now, post-international break, or not at all? I think we might have a short wait for that. Away! Millwall versus Blackpool. The natives at the Den are never backwards in coming forward, but they could get very restless if they lose this one. 1 win in 6, 4 defeats in 5 currently for Millwall. Blackpool are a point ahead in the table, but they took a pasting at Rotherham in midweek. A Rotherham side whose strengths could be described as comparable to Millwall's, given Paul are quite open. I think this might be a Rowett reprieve. Home! Swansea versus Hull. Not many wins floating around for these two lately. Hull started so well, but as the Estupinian purple patch expired, so did the points. And it's 4 defeats in 5 for the Tigers. Swansea went under late against leaders Sheffield United. They'll take comfort in how close that was and the fact that Hull have 0 away wins and the highest XG conceded in the division. Home! Get involved with your predictions down there in the comments. As I alluded to in the intro, it was an ugly midweek for me. Only 1. Yes, 1 out of 12. Correct call. And even that was a last gasp win for the league leaders, for goodness sake. I was also 180 degrees wrong on Sunderland, Blackburn, Stoke, Birmingham and Cardiff. Well done to all those sides and their surprise wins. Well, surprise to me. Surely it won't get worse than that all season. Come on. That's all the predictions done. Things move fast in midweek, so be sure, if you haven't already, to click here and check out the review of that slightly bonkers and hard for me to predict midweek round.